So the context of really just telling you a little bit about our journey of engagement so far. And really what I'm aiming to do out of this presentation is really just to give you some context of why we're engaging, why it's so important that you engage with us, and how committed we are to engage with you, to listen, co-produce and collaborate with you as really important members of our community. So our journey of transformation started in 2019, and it's really important to mention that prior to 2019, we didn't actually have a community engagement team. But obviously, this really sad and tragic events of the Grenfell Tower fire in 2017 sparked the Grenfell Tower investigation, and we got recommendations that really told us to look at how we're engaging with our communities. We also had a HMIC FRS inspection, and again in that report, it gave us a number of recommendations that really held a mirror up to us and made us have to look at our relationship with London and Londoners. And so in 2020, they recruited myself as to lead community engagement. And essentially what we did was we put together a plan to essentially just come out and listen to communities and to learn from yourselves around whether or not we're trusted to serve and protect London, and to really start to look through the lens of the community when it comes to engaging with the London Fire Brigade. So we started a pilot, and the aim of the pilot really was to test our readiness and to see how we can mobilise community engagement, and really just to be able to learn how best to co-design with our communities. Essentially what we had was 9 pilot boroughs, and we ran 40 events over those boroughs. And what we really heard from communities was that there was really a lack of knowledge of what we did outside of putting fires out. There really was a lot of kind of ambiguity in our regulatory space. But we also heard from communities that they were quite fatigued, they'd been over-consulted, and they really wanted to ensure that we wasn't window dressing, that we wasn't engaging with communities from in a tokenistic way. They wanted to ensure that their voices would be heard, and they told us that essentially that if we're serious about engaging with communities, then they'll engage with us. We drafted our first draft of our community risk management plan as a result of all of the feedback from the communities that we engage with across 9 pilot boroughs.
Sorry, Donna.
Yes.
There's been a request as to whether or not the screen can be enlarged. People are finding the slide a bit too small. Oh, fantastic.
Better?
That's better.
Okay, fantastic. So what we did is then we ran a formal consultation in 2021, September 2021, and also in July 2022. And in total response to our formal consultation in July 2022, we got over 2,200 responses. That's a really good response for us. It's a really good response rate. And I'll speak to you a little bit about what we heard and what we changed as a result. So, as I said before, we started to draft our community risk management plan, which is our statutory duty to say to our communities how we will provide a service to keep London safe and reduce risks to our communities. And we really heard from communities that they really want for us to work in a more localised way. People want to know how to be able to engage with the local boroughs, and they want to understand how to reduce safety at a localised level. So, as I'm hoping that many of you will know, but do let me know if you didn't know, we had a culture review that came out in November 2022. Our commissioner, our London Fire Commissioner, Andy Rowe, commissioned the culture review as a result of a really sad suicide of one of our young black firefighters, because he wasn't really sure that actually our culture was one that, you know, we could generally say was safe for our underrepresented or our seldom heard staff, or likewise our communities. So the culture review that was published in November 2022 found London Fire Brigade to be institutionally racist and misogynistic, and it also told us that our LGBTQ plus and our communities with or our internal communities, our staff with disabilities, generally were not having a good experience of London Fire Brigade at that time. It was a really sober moment for us as a brigade. And in January 2023, we published Your London Fire Brigade, which is our plan again of how we intend to be trusted by London, to serve and protect London, and also to really engage with London. So I'm going to have to reduce it just to be able to go to the next slide. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's changed as a result of the consultation, and I'm aware of the time, so I'm not going to take up too much time in this presentation. So I want Charlie to be able to answer the, we've got quite a few questions from yourself. So initially we had 4 pillars, which is engaging with you, protecting you, learning from you, and representing you. As a result of the consultation, we changed the learning from you to learning from others, and representing you to adding value. And so it's really important, I feel, that we play back how London's feedback changed the if you like, the picture and the plan that we have put together with communities. There are other changes, but I thought that that was one of the important changes. And as well, we had proposed to delete one of our attendance times, because actually, not to make it worse, but because we generally attend faster than 10 minutes, but 90% of the time, but over 50% of the respondents did not want for us to change or to delete that attendance time. So we generally kept it in.